Hi folks, old man Grognard here, and I got a few things to say, I guess. Hope you're doing well this evening. The game world seems to be turning, as usual. And first I want to give a shout out to Eric Bloat. Eric, salute. Thank you for the review of Mazes and Perils. I did most of the artwork in there, and I'm pretty proud of that, so here's to you, kid. Secondly, apparently I've got some correcting to do. The problem with that is, well, we'll get into that in a minute. Let me get to that. I got an email from R.J. Thompson, Ryan. And he says, "Hi, Glenn." Hi. Ryan Thompson of the Gamers and Grognard's blog and owner of the Swords and Wizardry community on G+ here. I wanted to give a bit of commentary / insight regarding something you mentioned in both reviews you have done for Swords and Wizardry Complete. In the first, you had mentioned that Swords S&W Complete is a clone of the original 3 brown books in Greyhawk. That is inaccurate. What you were thinking about was S&W Core. Complete is the 3 brown books and all of the supplements plus some material put out by the Strategic Review. My bad. He goes on. This brings me around to the second comment. You've mentioned in both reviews that some races and classes were brought over from AD&D. This isn't accurate either. Every class and race in Swords and Wizardry Complete was published for OD&D, whether it was one of the supplements or issues of the TSR. Supplements of or in issues of TSR, I guess he meant Dragon. The Paladin and Thief are from Greyhawk, the Assassin and Monk come from Blackmoor, the Druid is from Eldritch Wizardry, and the Ranger is one of the first classes published in TSR, probably Dragon. I believe it is issue 2. Yeah, Dragon. So, this is why you see no gnomes or half-orcs. That said, supplemental material is published in Frog God's hardbound modules. You can find half-orcs in the lost city of Baracus as a playable race. I might have to pick that up at the North Texas this year. For example, he says, your co-host over at Save or Die, James Spahn, made a gnome race in his Swords of Wizardry companion for S&W Complete. He also published a bard in that product. You mean Swords and Wizardry Player's Companion, I believe. I looked that up. Anyway, huge S&W enthusiast. I figured I would clear that up. Ryan R.G. Thompson, Gamers and Grognard Studios. Thank you, Ryan. And you're right. I don't know the original books as well as I thought I did, which is par for the course for me, because I was working under the assumption that every edition of Swords and Wizardry, aside from Swords and Wizardry White Box, was the 3 books plus Greyhawk. My bad. So take that as you will. See, that's the trouble with doing videos, reviews the way I do them. It's like they're there, warts and all, and I've got to correct, either write it or do something like this, which not many people will see. It's like somebody making big headlines for like a murder or a robbery, and then they get acquitted, and they'll put it on like the back page of a paper saying he was acquitted. And so it's kind of like that. So if you want a correction, you got to search for it, unfortunately. I mean, I can put it in the comments down there if I catch it. And once in a while I do, but I usually reserve something like this for emails, corrections, errata, or anything like that kind of thing. So, anyway, thank you, Ryan Thompson. And that's it for the emails. I've been having a lot of fun following the RPG Brigade Facebook page. And also Ivan Mike 1968, of course. And Eric Bloat and a lot of other ones. I think I am subscribed to Ivan Mike's YouTube channel. And I do like the stuff he talks about. He does a really good job at just explaining why we game and what the feel of games are and what his personal, peccadillos are for gaming. And he talked recently about compromising versus settling in RPGs. And this pretty much went to the point of what would you do to game if you couldn't get people to game? Let me explain. If you're hurting for a game and you don't have any players, or you do have players, okay, back up. You do have players, but they play this other game that you're not interested in, or they want you to run this other game that you're not, it's not what you want to do, but will you do it to make them happy? No, I won't. But that's me. I'll explain that in a minute, but basically it's how bad do you want a game, I guess. I don't know. As I got older, I just want to play what I want to play. The other alternative is they don't, and you go away. Will you go without until you find the game you want to play, or with the group you want to play? And some people, they play games. I've seen people say, I'm not really into this kind of game, but the rest of the group likes it, and I don't have any other buddy to play with, so we play that. But I would really like to play this game. I'm pretty stubborn. My birthday's April 26th, so I'm pretty much a Taurus, which means I can get pretty stubborn, and I also can be pretty patient. Now, I've done things in the past, like joining the RPGA because I couldn't find anybody else to play anything else. This is when I first moved to Oklahoma. This was the 3-5 D20 days, where if you don't play D20, you don't play. And I had some fun games. I mean, I played Living City. My two favorites were Living City and The Living Force, when they were doing the D20 Star Wars. And they had a living campaign going on in the RPG for that. That was fun. I'd never played a Gungan before. That was fun. Yeah, go ahead and wince. I don't care. It was a good character. But I've done that before, and sometimes I felt like I settled because I couldn't get anybody else interested in any other kind of game. I may have gone by it the wrong way. I mean, when I first got here, I thought I was going to be playing Champions. I've had a Champions group. Yeah. I played 2 sessions at a game store. And that was it. I couldn't find anybody else to play. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, man. Ooh. But that's neither here nor there. So I have settled in the past, but I'm to the point where now that we have the internet, and if I really am jonesing for a game, there's always Roll20 or, online games, even though I'm not too crazy about them. I play online games before, and I still do, but it's funny, I have a limited tolerance for online games. I always tell people I'm good for about 2 hours, and then I want to get up and go away and just do something else. I'm the kind of guy who's sitting at the table. I can play a 5-6 hour game, no problem. Even 8 hours, no problem. But something about online gaming, I feel like I'm trapped at that computer. I mean, that happens during the day too. I mean, when I'm not gaming, I gotta get up and walk away for a while. I do some stuff and I turn it off. I go do something else. I read, do dishes, whatever. But I will come back if I need to do something, or and it's just part of my limited. I try to limit myself on the computer, even though I spend a lot of time on the computer. I kind of try and break it up, if you know what I mean. And it's the same thing with gaming. I can go for a couple hours playing an online game, but that's about it. And as far as tabletop, well, if I gotta wait, I gotta wait. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to find a bunch of guys now that I've got 2 regular games. Yeah, they're 5e games, if you want to call that settling. And I feel that way sometimes. But the point is, I'm playing and I'm not running it. So if I don't know a few things, well, okay. If I don't know a couple of the finer points of the games as a player, and I know I'm not going to be a GM, I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, there are some things that really annoy the crap out of me about 5e. But I don't worry about it because I've got a dungeon master right there who'll walk me through whatever I need. Because there are some finer points of 5th edition I just cannot get through my skull. It's kind of like when my stepson tried to teach me and my wife, his mother, Texas Hold'em. Oh, I got the idea of the game. I used to play games like that, like 7-card draw or 7-card no peek, that kind of thing. It was the betting that got me. I could never remember whose bet it was and what that's why I would never walk into a casino and play Texas Hold'em. I'd play blackjack, but I wouldn't play Texas Hold'em because I just could not get I couldn't get it down. And the same thing is with 5e, and there's other games like that, I'm sure, out there. I mean, one thing, when I go to 0 hit points and start dying, I start making those rolls, whether I make them or not. Usually, I've never gotten to the point where I had to make all 3 rolls, because usually we have a cleric or somebody like that going, okay, you made 1 roll and you blow it, or I didn't blow it, or whatever, I got 2 more. By the time I get to the 2nd roll, there's a cleric going, spare the dying and stabilize me so I don't have to roll anymore. Or things like, what really irks me is doing any kind of, I'm not going to say saving throw, but any kind of like skill type thing, like perception or athleticism or something, because I never understood what I'm good at these 2 things for the saves, and I'm good at these like 3 skills, but why are all these other numbers here? I don't get it. That's all. And I had to write down my pluses to hit for once. I couldn't remember them. I actually had to write them down on my character sheet, which is feels weird for me. But anyway, I'm just going off on a rant on 5e now. But what I'm trying to explain is, I've gotten to the point, I'm going to be 60 this year. So I've gotten to the point where I could probably wait until hell freezes over, until my kind of game comes along. I'll play online until then, or not. I don't know if I could GM online. That Roll20, those tabletop, those virtual tabletops look a little daunting, if you know what I mean. But my friend Brian says, "Oh yeah, they're easy. Once you get, the learning curve is really easy." And so, well, okay, whatever. But like I said, that's my take on that. And I'm not trying to be a hard ass or anything. It's just I'm getting to the point where I don't want to play what I don't want to play. Yeah, I review stuff. Somebody made a crack the other day. Said, well, so much for Glenn not playing World War II games. When I reviewed Operation White Box. Correction. I didn't say I wouldn't review it. I don't know if I'd play it. But if I did want to play something like this, I go to Operation White Box because it's based on something I know, BX D&D. So there's that little correction there. But as I guess it just sets in as you get older. Plus, I've got tons of old school games back there. I can just grab it. I have no problem now of trying to get a group together. I think I can get enough people that I can actually get a group together myself on a certain night if I wanted to call them or something like that. But that's remains to be seen because I've never done it. Oh, I'm getting ready in 2 weeks. I'm getting ready to run Astonishing Swordsman for the first time. But I think that's going to be like falling off a log because it's 1E D&D based on 1E D&D, and that's easy. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. So, if you want to ramble with me or talk to anything about what I said or anything like that, you can find me on Facebook. I'm around RPG Brigade. Glenn Hallstrom. I'm there. And I've also got oldmangrognard@gmail.com. So, until next time, bye-bye.